Hey guys, this is Loyota Review, and this is the updated Season 14 support item tier list. And my final tier list for Season 14 items for now. Let's get right into it. So we have the new support quest upgraded items, and after observing them, I would still say that the damage reduction item is S tier. It is very ideal, and it was not nerfed as hard as initially I thought. So it's a great item, again, for the cases of where you might be taking a lot of poke damage. Maybe you don't have a lot of damage reduction in the first place. So even though I know there's people that are doing Bloodsong on like Pike, I think the idea of Pike having basically 35% damage reduction going in so he doesn't instantly die is pretty amazing in high elo. In lower elo, you probably would prefer Bloodsong. In general, Bloodsong is OP, ridiculous item. Basically, it's just, how would I put it? I knew that the Spellblade active, especially because of how quick it was, would be good. But the fact that people were also kind of combining this with certain other items like Zeke's and whatever are finding a lot of success. And yeah, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem. And we'll see how the meta shifts and expands from this, but these two are by far the best ones, and it's so good to the point that it kind of puts this, like the void like upgraded item, kind of at the bottom because it's not really a lot of damage. It has a CD, I think it's like 6 seconds or like 9 to 6 seconds, but it's just, if you can go this over this, you will go Bloodsong over the void item. And then there's the little bubbles, which I do think are not bad. I do think if you're playing like Yumi or you're playing like Soraka or some like main based healer, I do think 140 damage soaking hit is pretty damn good, and it could see more use. But it's like a fine one. And then of course this one's in the D tier as well, mostly just because it's a 20-second cooldown, and you can't always preference on who you want it to target because it's to the lowest life ally. And yeah, there will be cases where it's really good, but generally, like, it's just like you're just really never gonna go it. Echoes, it's still D tier. Like, no one really likes this item. No one cares about this item. The Wardstone item is fine. Like, no issues with that. Staff is A tier. It's like the fact that you give MS to your allies, super good. Really, like, I mean, again, it's because it's for an ADC in just general. Like, yeah, a ability haste would have been pretty nice because there's less ability haste in the game now. But I do think just being able to give your ally more movement speed so they can actually go in and out in a fight, especially even if it's just an AP champ, good. Ardent, still think this is a super good item. It basically just got buffs. So yeah, love it. Oh, sorry, why did I say Ardent? This is Ardent here. My bad. I think I had this lower, and I'm still not 100% sure where it's gonna lie or lay, but the fact that it has more AP is really nice. So you know, if you're like a damage dealer, like Zyra or something like that, I see Bard actually going this sometimes. Really good. Like, having that extra AP is super nice, and I don't think Frozen Heart is necessary always. Because people are going Zeke's for more damage, but I do think this is still around the A and S tier because it's just, it's so cheap, it's so strong, and if you're playing against on-hit ADCs or even just lethality ADCs, it gives you the armor to survive their poke and also just be a menace when inside. I think Zeke's, I had it at D tier, it's at B tier, and that's mostly just to see how it shapes up. But again, like the slow that you get from it when you enter the fray, they can't really escape, and some supports can actually solo you out, especially if they have Bloodsong, so it's definitely on the radar. Mikhail's is still situational, even though it's a good item. Moonstone is, like, I guess it's just a C tier item. Like, it's fine, not crazy or anything. And I do think Dawncore is also just C tier because honestly, it's D tier. I was gonna put it in C tier, but it's just D tier because the reality is, yeah, you get additional stats from it, and that's it. Like, I don't care about that as a support. I just want as many beneficial actives and like increases in whatever regards I have. That was a really weird sentence. Increases in that, like, I just want things that let me shape the fight more. So Moonstone, like for instance, like increases the shielding, so like kind of shapes the fight, and Zeke's shapes the like, you know, all these things kind of have that going for it. This has nothing going for it, so don't care. Still C tier, mostly because like it's a good item to pick up if you need it in the end, but there's so many more interesting items that also give reasonable AP that it's not as highly regarded. Shirelia's is a so the thing is, Shirelia's having additional AP is really nice, and I am seeing players literally take this, even though it doesn't have that same like amazing, like if I shield or heal an ally, like, you know, I increase their MS. Like, it doesn't have that. They would put it here technically. I want to put it here. But yeah, we'll leave it like that. I think I had this in S tier. Honestly, is there any S tier like support items that I want to put down in the end? Because I've put like the quest items, but I haven't put any of these down. Honestly, if I was gonna do this, I probably would put this up here because I do think the fact that you get MS, you get the slow hit, it's doing a little bit that Zeke's does, except you don't need to activate your ulti. And you get it back pretty quick. It won't be as much damage as Zeke's overall. But it also has more beneficial things compared to Zeke's in other ways. This is still a reasonable item, still a really good defensive item, right? If you actually need to be focused. I do think this is easily like the best armor, like the best armor item for helping an ally, technically. Redemption is still C tier and don't see it build that too much, but it is a decent item. Like, it's definitely a decent item. And of course, I do see Solari kind of sitting around here. And I might move. Honestly, because on hit is more focused now, this has that value. And even this might move up a little bit just because if you're a damage dealer, you probably will preference this as well versus other items. So that also I see people going Leandries. I think I'll leave it here for now. We'll stick with this for now. So I guess I'll conclude this with the support items. I think there's not a lot of bad choices that you can do because a lot of the enchanter items got more AP. So in the end, you're still being like gaining benefits from the stats. And I think like there's, again, if you're going on hit, like you have Ardent, you know, if you're also, you probably will go like Stat because it gives you MS or whatever for your allies. If you need like a really good chase down, then you have Shirelia's, right? Like, it kind of shapes up, and like there's not something that just clear out every single time you're gonna buy no matter what necessarily to me, because it just kind of depends on how you also want to shape your build. Because like I could go the damage reduction plus this item here to be more beneficial towards my team, or I could go much harder in the paint with damage with Zeke's and Bloodsong, or like Mandate and Bloodsong. So it just really depends on how you want to shape your play as a support, which is awesome because it, like, the reality is it sounds like, you know, oh, I actually have options. Like, it's not just I do this every single game per se, but yeah, I think they actually did a decent job with support items after seeing like the first couple of days of solo queue and such. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and until next time.